this young lady, I gotta recall this now. I think I preached a sermon.
Yeah,
right?
I think it was Gateway. Was it Gateway Student Conference?
It was at the student conference.
Yeah.
So I was preaching at Gateway Student Conference. Was it 2 years ago?
Something like that. I was serving at it.
Yeah. I think it was like 2 years ago. And whatever I preached, this young lady did like the dopest recap on social media of my message, to the point that like I wanted others to see, like I didn't even want them to hear my message. I wanted them to hear her recap of my message. I'm like, you ain't even got to listen to it. Go watch her. And so, and I got to see some more of your content, and I just thought, I just love it when people are like serious and studious and like intentional about what they're doing.
Yeah.
It like I'm not going to say it was polished. I'm just going to say that it was so well done. It was very authentic. It didn't seem like out of reach for people like, oh my goodness, I can never do that. But it was just so intentionally well done that I was just so impressed.
Well, thank you.
So impressed by you, so impressed by what you did. And then what had happened was I'm at my cousin Lecrae's concert, and your hubby is there taking pictures. Dude is there taking all these dope pictures. And then he's like, my wife is the girl that recapped you. And I'm like, what? What? The world is so small.
I know.
The world is so small. It's increasingly getting smaller. For me personally. And so now you're sitting here with me.
I know. Isn't this crazy?
Super excited about it. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to present to some and introduce to others, Kirby
Kelly.
Oh, this is
it's a good name, right?
It's such a good name.
Kirby Kelly.
Kirby Kelly. It's 2 syllables.
It's like a Marvel character.
It
Peter
is.
Parker, Kirby Kelly. That's me.
I love it, right? And it's either 2 syllables or 1 syllable, right? Bruce Wayne.
Right, and
Clark
you have
Kent.
the alliteration, Kirby Kelly.
That's what I love about it. It flows. Oh, you married well.
I did.
Oh, good job, Richard.
Good job on the last name.
Good job on the last name being a first name, but can also flex as a last name.
Yeah, I get Kelly Kirby all the time.
Do you?
Like Mrs. Kirby?
Yeah, because they don't want Kirby to be your first name.
I guess. They're like, oh, that's a boy's name. I'm like, says who?
Yeah, exactly. Stop it.
That's what I'm saying.
Leave your name alone. I'll fight these people.
Please do.
In the street, in the middle of the street. Why is Tim fighting in the street?
We got Hector crying in the club. We got you fighting in the street. I'm just trying to podcast.
You're just trying to podcast. I love it. Well, I'm grateful you're here.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being on. And I just want to, I don't know you.
I know.
So like,
this will be fun.
Yeah, I'm really curious about you. Like, tell me about you. Like, where did you grow up? Where were you born? Who are you?
Yeah. So
start from the beginning.
I will. I'll start from the minute I was born.
Boom.
I was born in London, England.
This just got better.
I know.
Can
deliver it with a little accent. No,
did you?
No.
Okay, I was about to say, like, you weren't there long enough, it sounds like.
Oh, no, I was like 1 year old when I moved back to the States.
All as well.
Grew up in New Jersey.
Let's
so I
go.
did have an accent when I lived in New Jersey.
Jersey
girl.
Yep.
We love it. GTL, Gym Tan Laundry. Good times.
Nice.
Grew up there and lived a really blessed life growing up. I didn't grow up in a Christian household. I grew up Catholic. When you're in Jersey, you're either Jewish or Catholic.
Understood.
Like, that's how it is.
Yep.
And didn't really know much about Jesus, didn't really know much about Christianity, relationship with him or anything like that. But on the outside, everything kind of looked perfect with my life. Like, my dad worked on Wall Street. My mom was the stay-at-home mom with the 2 kids and the nice house with the white picket fence and everything. And then when, this is a little, then when 9/11 happened, really rocked my family because my dad worked on Wall Street. He was there when it happened. He saw it happen. Wow. We lost a lot of family friends through that, and that kind of sent my dad into a spiral with just depression, obviously, which turned him to drinking and alcoholism, which then led to the divorce of my parents when I was 7. Oh. And when I'm literally just giving you the, feel free to interject if you want to.
Yeah, for sure.
But then my mom got custody over my brother and I. We moved down to Texas when I was 8 because that's where she was raised. All her family was here at the time. And when I was 10 years old, well, actually, when I first moved here, I'll start with that. We moved here during the summer, and my mom's like, okay, new life. What are we going to do? Like, what does this look like for me and my kids in this new family function? Yeah. And so while she was figuring that out, she's like, what am I going to do with my kids this summer? Like, they're going through the most traumatic thing ever right now. Yeah. And she hears the ad on the radio for a Christian summer camp, and it's like, water slides, Jesus, send your kids here. And
okay,
so,
pause.
What? That's literally probably what it was.
But what I love...
I'm giving you the recap, Tim.
This recap is dope, but like you're the dopest recapper I know. Because not only did you just like say she heard an ad on the radio, you went into character on the ad. Water slides. Right? Like this is how I act. This is like I feel like
it's the body.
Maybe I'm a white girl on the inside. I don't know.
Slay what you want to slay, Tim.
Okay, so water slides.
Yes. So we go to the summer camp.
Yep.
And I do the water slides, get baptized on the water slide. No, I don't. But I hear about Jesus for the first time.
Yep.
And I'm like, who's this guy? Like, I grew up Catholic, so it's like you literally get dunked the minute you come out the womb and you're like saved, right? But then I actually started learning about what a relationship with Jesus entails and looks like. And it was like, oh, the seed was first planted.
All right. So hold on, though, because I'm watching what you're saying.
Yes.
Right. I'm seeing everything that you're saying.
Yes.
So like, how do they okie doke you into like a salvation message about like in between water slides and hot dogs?
Yeah.
When is the gospel preached?
That's a really good question.
To when you're like,
well, at the camp, yeah.
Before I go down this slide again,
tell me about the Trinity.
Go on. Like, how does it like? I'm really interesting. When does that happen?
Yeah. So at least at the camp that I went to growing up, it was like you had your schedule, so you had your activities throughout the day.
Okay.
And one of the activities, sometimes two of the activities, was a Bible study where you would like regroup together. Yep. Sometimes you broke out into small groups, and they have a curriculum. I ended up working at the summer camp as a counselor because I gave my life to Jesus at the summer camp. We'll get to that in a second. Yep. But I loved the structure of how they did it because I went for, I think like 8 or 10 years of my life. 10 years of my life because I started going at 8 and I went till I was 18 and then worked for 2 years. And the way that they do it, they have this method called Life Map, where they do the curriculum every 4 years, and it just gets more and more deep the older you grow. So they're really like laying down that foundation and expounding on it. So when you're 8 years old, you're not going to understand things maybe like you would at 14.
Correct.
So they're recycling the material every 4 years. So it's like, oh, I remember learning this, but now I actually understand it more. Nice. They make it really engaging. They have questions. They have like a little booklet. You wake up in the morning, you do your little devotional, takes 5 minutes, and then you go over that in the Bible study. Yeah. So that also taught me like what Bible study looks like, of like reading the word, asking questions, then coming together in a group of people and asking those questions to which they're able to help navigate those conversations.
It's awesome.
Yeah. It was a really great structure. I loved it.
No, that's dope. Okay. So you're 8, you're intrigued by Jesus and you give your life to him.
Well, not at 8 years old.
Okay. Not at 8. Okay. So, but you heard him. Yeah. You heard about the gospel.
Yeah.
And you're intrigued by it.
And it's funny because I wouldn't say that's when I was saved.
Understood.
But immediately I was like, everybody needs to know about Jesus.
Wow.
So like I was telling all my friends, telling everybody about Jesus. And I'm like, I didn't even understand what giving my life to him meant at that time. And I think it's cool how God can use us in ways that we don't even know, right?
Absolutely.
But fast forward to when I was 10 years old, my dad ended up passing away from his alcoholism.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
And that really was a defining moment in my life where between me and God, it was like, why did you do this to me? Like, first, you kind of tear my dad's life down, which tore our life apart. And then our family's now separated, and now you just take him away from us.
Wow.
But what's interesting, it's so interesting how the enemy works, because for me, it wasn't more so like I had an anger towards God. It was the enemy shifted it to, well, you could have done something about this. You could have protected your dad.
Oh, wow.
You could have told him to stop drinking. You could have done all these things. So now you have to be savior for everyone and make sure that everybody is good. Because if they're not, they're going to die.
Wow.
And so this put this anxiety within me of...
At 10.
Yeah, at 10 years old, where I felt like I had to be everything for everyone, to the point where I was neglecting myself.
Yeah.
And I mean, you throw that into the equation of going into middle school, it's just like, you know, you're trying to figure out who you are.
Yeah,
it's like,
sure.
I want to know who my friends are. I want to fit in.
Yeah.
And that eventually led to me getting bullied, to the point where it was like, well, I'm trying to please these people and love these people, but they don't even love me. So something must be wrong with me. And that, with that combined with just all the feelings and emotions I had inside, led me, and this is crazy for me to imagine at 13 years old, self-harming, being suicidal, having suicidal thoughts and tendencies, literally just being everything for everyone when I was in school around people, and then coming home and just destroying myself and plotting my own demise. Yeah. But what's so beautiful is that every night, whenever I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do, have my letter written, have my plan, I know it was God. At the time I didn't, but I know it was, because there was always this voice in the back of my head that would say, one more day, just give it one more day. And that's how I lived all of 8th grade, was, okay, just one more day. I just need to get through one more day. And if it's not good tomorrow, then I'll do it. And that was God saving me.
You had letters written though.
Mm-hmm. I had journals and everything.
And what was your expression of self-harm? I hope that's not...
That's okay. It's not a sensitive thing for me to talk about. Okay, maybe for other people to listen to, but I mean, just cutting myself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, I had all these emotions inside, and I didn't know
for sure.
how to make sense or express them.
Yep.
And I also felt like, in a sense, like I need to punish myself for not being enough, and that was the only way I could get that expression. I didn't know how to understand my feelings and my emotions and make sense of healthily expressing how I feel, because I felt like I had to be that person for everyone. I didn't have that person for me.
Yep.
So that left me feeling trapped.
Yeah,
and that was the only way I could get that release.
Yep. Okay, so one more day.
Mm-hmm.
And how many days was that?
Well, I made it. I mean, I'm here.
Yeah. But like, when were you consciously aware of like, I don't have to do that no more?
When I went back to camp that summer before high school, it was a Wednesday night. Just like, it wasn't even the Friday night where it's like, okay, this is the come to Jesus moment. We have the guitar, we have the bug spray, like get the tears going. You know what I mean? Like that's literally how it is.
Guitars, bug spray, literally, and tears.
That is Christian summer camp.
Wow.
And water slides. And so it was a Wednesday night. We were doing like a little worship session before the nighttime activity, whatever it was, because they did theme nights every night. And it was just a worship night. And I remember worshiping, like singing all these songs that I had sung before and genuinely meant it. And it like dawned on me, like I had consciousness in that moment of like, what am I doing with my life? Like, I don't want to, it's not that I just don't want to live. It's that I don't want to live like this. And I remember coming before God and just saying, I can't do it anymore. Like when I'm here, I feel alive. Like when I'm learning about you, when I'm reading the word, when I'm in your presence, like this is how I want to live my life. And it was in that moment that, and my Christians out there will understand this, and I hope that everybody experiences this at some point. It felt euphoric. Like I felt the presence of God come down in that room. And I, not audibly, but in my spirit, he communicated to me, and I knew that he was there. And I was just like, oh my gosh, he's here. Like I'm calling on him and he's here right now. Like, ooh, what do I do? And I just felt him say, Kirby, what are you doing? Like in the not in a convicting way, but in a caring way. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you treating yourself like this? Why are you trying to be everything for everybody? Like, just in that one statement, what are you doing? And just poured out my heart. Like, I'm trying to be everything for everyone. I'm trying to do all these things. I can't do it, God, blah, blah, blah. And it was as if in my life, he kind of showed me my life and where he was present at every moment in my life. And it was like, I didn't even know you were there for me. And what was beautiful is that in that moment, I might cry, who knows? In that moment, he just revealed to me, I'm your perfect father and I'm here for you. I didn't have that growing up. Yeah. And for him to say that to me and to reveal that to me of like, I am here for you and you can lean on me and I'm present and I'm good and I'm perfect. It blew my mind that like, oh my gosh, I can know you and you want to know me and love me. And regarding just the depression and the self-harm and the suicidal ideations and all those things, I told him, I'm like, I'm so tired of performing and doing all of these things to be everything for everyone. Like, what do I do? And he said, give it to me. And it legitimately felt like I had a backpack on and like I took it off. Like maybe that's just how my mind was able to comprehend that exchange. But it felt like I took it off and just laid it at his feet. And at that moment, I was filled with the Holy Spirit, like was crying tears of joy, was worshiping him. And I was like, I'm going to live for you. Like this is it. Like I'm going to live for you and give my life to you if this is what living is like. And what's so cool is that, I mean, you know, I was worshiping, I was crying, I was singing. It was beautiful. I was probably laughing from the joy I finally was imparted within me, because the fruit of the Spirit is joy. Yeah, for sure. Amongst everything else. Yep. And what's so cool is that when that worship set was over, my camp counselor came over to me and she was like, are you okay? Like, are you good? And at 13 years old, I like turned to her and I turned to all the other campers and I just start preaching. I'm like, you don't understand like who God is and how good he is. And everybody just starts crying and they're like, I want to give my life to Jesus. And it was just like revival broke out. You know what I mean? And it just was like from that moment on, I knew that it wasn't going to be easy. I knew that life wasn't going to be perfect, but I was like, I know who I'm doing it with though. Yeah. Like I have security for the first time in my life, it feels like. And obviously there's more to a person's story past that point, but
yeah, for sure.
That is in essence my story of how I came to Jesus.